guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Celta Vigo versus Barcelona in La Liga. I'll tell you what, I've never been more dejected going into a game since post Bayern Munich 8-2. Like, bloody hell, man, we are on the absolute floor, but this is a moment where we've got to pick it back up. We've got Champions League next week, which pretty much is what we've been riding on for months and months and months now. And this is the game just before where it's away from home. Our away form isn't too bad this season, but bloody hell, Celta Vigo way. If you know, you know. And I am coming into this match with absolutely zero confidence as a culé. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 6:30 p.m. local time. So we do have the kind of late afternoon kickoff on our Saturday before the match on Wednesday, where we do have to travel to Italy. So La Liga have niced us a little bit here, so we'll give them a little bit of a shout out. But this match is taking place at the Estadio de Balaídos, where I tell you what, man, this and the Anoeta and SMS, I don't think I've ever seen Barcelona struggle consistently at an away stadium in my life. I think last season we lost their final game of the season. Season before that, we drew 3-3. I believe it was the final match under Sergi Barjuan as the interim coach. Iago Aspas getting a goal in the last second. I believe the last time we won in the stadium was during COVID. Black kit, Koeman's first season, 3-0, Ansu Fati, Wakanda celebration, masterclass. I think before that, Ernesto Valverde's first season, 17-18, I think we won there. I think Dembele scored, Coutinho scored. But before that, it's just nothing but losses and draws. I can remember 2 wins in like the past 10 years. Like, this stadium, man, is just detrimental to Barcelona, and it's not going to be any easier tomorrow. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch, it will be Jose Luis Santana, who apparently, according to reports and the records, has the worst record in La Liga for Barcelona as a referee in terms of decision making and also decision making in general. So we probably have on paper the worst referee for this game in terms of the numbers. And on the VAR, it will be Valentino Pizarro Gomez. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona are currently sat in 3rd place in La Liga on 51 points. After playing 24 matches, we have 15 wins, 6 draws, 3 losses. Look at our last 5 games in the league: 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. That's been our league form for the past 5 games in the past 16 match days, something ridiculous like that. Top of the table, Real Madrid, 61 points. We're 10 points behind them. You can forget about the league. We're currently, as things stands, 5 points behind Girona and have a 3-point gap ahead of Atletico Madrid. Now, just imagine we beat Granada last weekend. We beat Villarreal. We'd be in 2nd place right now. But, of course, we're shite. I mean, I'm so discouraged at the point that we didn't capitalize on any of the mistakes that we had in the last 2 match days. I mean, yes, we capitalized maybe a little bit, but that was mostly because Atletico Madrid lost and they were already behind us. So the gap kind of opened up itself. It was kind of their doing and not us capitalizing on it. But if you take a look at the top teams and who they'll be facing this match day, Atletico Madrid will be hosting Las Palmas. We know Las Palmas are a good side. That could be a banana skin of a game. Madrid traveling to Vallecano. They always win there. 83 points to them. But the big game of the weekend is Athletic Club at the SMS hosting Girona. Now, Girona can drop points in that game. So hopefully we can try and close somewhat of a gap there. But I think, honestly, us facing Celta Vigo is probably harder than Girona going to San Mamés and facing Athletic Club. So I doubt we'll be able to capitalize on that game. But I definitely see Girona maybe dropping points, and Madrid, the 2 Madrid sides, probably not. So again, objective now is at least finish 2nd place if we can get that Super Cup spot, which I think in the end, over time, we will. We still have to play Girona, of course, at the Montilivi. Away, it'll be difficult. We still got to play Atletico Madrid at the Wanda. Still got to go to Real Madrid, Santiago Bernabeu away as well. So league title is there's about, 14 games left. Can Madrid drop 10 points in 14 games? Yes, but we're so shit. We're not going to capitalize whatsoever. So forget about the league. We're aiming for 2nd place. Definitely on the table and definitely viable. And actually, may I also add, must be achieved. Now, if you take a look at our opponents in Celta Vigo and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 17th place in La Liga on 20 points. After playing 24 matches, they have 4 wins, 8 draws, 12 losses. They currently sit just only 3 points above the relegation zone and have more games played than points this season. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Celta Vigo. Of course, as we all know, they're a very historic side in La Liga, especially over recent years, the past 10 years or so. They've been one of our bogey teams, of course, but like I just mentioned, they have more games played than points this season. Speaking of this season, the last time we played them this season was, of course, at the Montjuic Stadium, very early on the season, I think first 10 games, something like that. We did beat them 3-2. We were 2-0 down in the 80th minute, so it took an absolutely miraculous, unbelievable comeback. Probably one of the peak moments of the season, all the way back in September, October time, where Lewandowski braced and Cancelo goal, 3 goals in the space of, 9 minutes to get all 3 points. It was unbelievable comeback, but again, Celta Vigo made it difficult for that 80 minutes. They were pretty good, and of course, they were very clinical in the final third. We were kind of shite as well, especially defensively, but this is a game where you can't really analyze it. Just came on moments, and Barcelona were there in the end. The same was kind of up for a new stadium, new season. I think we're just off the back of the 5-0 against Antwerp and Betis as well, so we had a bit of momentum on our side. And of course, bloody Marcos Alonso starting our left back, so you can tell how old this game was. But let's take a look at Celta Vigo's last 6 matches in all competition. In their last match, they did lose 3-2 to Getafe. They beat Osasuna away 3-0. Big result for them. They lost 1-0 at home to Girona. They lost in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey to Sociedad 2-1. They also lost to Sociedad at home in La Liga 1-0 as well. But they did beat Valencia 3-1 away at the Mestalla to progress to the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. Big win for them. But let's take a look at the last 3 matches in all competition. Firstly is the 1-0 loss to Girona. Now, Girona, they're top of the table at this point, pushing Madrid. They got to go to the Balaídos and get a result, and they did. Credit to them. It was a very much a banana skin game, but I would say Celta Vigo, being the home side, the Balaídos against big sides tends to, be up to it in terms of the atmosphere, but I think the players didn't really perform at the level that was expected, and in the end, Girona did nick it and get all 3 points. Next game is their 3-0 win to Osasuna. Now, we know the Osasuna Stadium, it was voted the most hostile atmosphere in La Liga, or most difficult away ground to go to, and battered them 3-0, especially with Osasuna being, a mid-table side and Celta Vigo fighting for relegation. This was a massive result for Celta Vigo, and I would say that everything went well for them. They had, I think, about 4 chances, scored 3 of them. Osasuna weren't really on it. I think it was a damn near perfect game from the point of view and perspective of Celta Vigo, and of course their striker Larson got the brace, and he was absolutely unbelievable in this game as well. But Oscar Mingueza playing out right wing, by the way, lads. How unbelievable is that? The next Ramos chucked that right wing. Anyways, big result for them, big 3 points for them as well. That of course keeps them above the relegation zone. And finally, their last match in all competition was a 3-2 loss to Getafe away. Now, I did watch this game, and I tell you what, Celta Vigo were really in it. Getafe went 2-0 up, around the 50th minute. Celta Vigo brought it back for 2-2. I think Iago Aspas in that 20-minute spell, I think he came off the bench. He was absolutely brilliant. And then I think Jaime Mata got a header around the 85th minute, last second, game winner to clinch all 3 points. But Celta Vigo were very much in it. I think the scoreline doesn't really, fire them too much. I think very much a draw would have been a fair result. So they were in the game despite not playing too well. They were competing, of course, away from home, but in the end, luck just wasn't on their side. So overall, final thoughts on Celta Vigo. Of course, I would say on paper they do have a very balanced squad. They're very well managed by their manager, Rafa Benitez, one of the most iconic managers in the history of football, probably top 40 managers all time in the entire beautiful game in general. But I think, he's a very good coach, very tactical as well. Came to the Montjuic when Barcelona on a very good high, was up 2-0 into the 80th minute, but just kind of the moment came in the favor of the bigger side at home with Barcelona. Now, in terms of players to look out for, of course, there is quite a few. Gaetan in goal, very strong keeper. Larson, the striker up front, had a very good year as well. Watching for former Barcelona player as well, Oscar Mingueza, who's all of a sudden become a right winger. But of course, we cannot forget Estadio Balaídos, Iago Aspas. After Sam Mames and Inaki Williams, no player fears me most than Iago Aspas at the Balaídos. Every single time against Barcelona specifically, turns into prime Fernando Torres, David Villa mix into one. Against Madrid, shite. Girona, shite. Atletico Madrid, shite. Sociedad, dreadful. Osasuna, just straight dog poo. But Barcelona turns into the most unbelievable player you've ever seen in your life. So definitely watch out for him. He's gonna have a game. I'll tell you 100% right now, for free, he will get a goal and assist. If he does not, I'll give away a Barcelona home kit. I am that confident. Bookmark it. Hopefully we win, but bloody hell, he's going to be involved in this game in some sort of capacity. So it's mainly a dangerous side because of the team, the stadium, and of course Iago Aspas himself. I think the One way that Barcelona can win this game is that they have to dominate the midfield. Of course, when Barcelona like to play with 4 in midfield, if they do that in this game, dominate the midfield, control the passes of play, and of course, be clinical in the final third, this should be a breeze. Celta Vigo are not that great of a side, but of course, the moment, the situation, and of course, the atmosphere will definitely play a massive factor. Let's now discuss some of the news around the squad quickly before we talk about Xavi's press conference. Now, the squad list will be coming out later on today. We're not expecting too many changes. Xavi to give us some updates on Romeu and Roberto's fitness, but we do have to now return to yellow card suspension watch. Of course, our next La Liga match will be against Getafe at home after the Napoli game, and there are players who are at risk of danger in that game. If they get a yellow card against Celta Vigo tomorrow, they will be suspended for that game, and those players include Romeu, Araujo, Cancelo, and Lewandowski, and even the manager Xavi as well. Any 5 of them in this match, if they get a yellow card, they will not be available for selection or be on the touchline in the manager's perspective in the match against Getafe. Time now to get into the press conference reaction of Xavi Hernandez. In his press conference this morning, of course, lost a lot of questions in the media about his future, the current state of the squad, and Mbappe to Barcelona. I mean, bloody hell, but let's get and see what Xavi had to say this morning in the presser. He starts off by saying that tomorrow we have an opponent that has one of the best prepared tactically. I think Celta Vigo deserve many more points than they have this season. Got a good point there, to be fair. Benitez is a great coach, and the team is very clear about things. Away from home, things are going better for us than at home. Candidates replace me. We can't control that. That's normal. I see the dressing room very well and united. We are united with the president and Deco. The message from inside is one of unity, calm, and work. Then I'm asked about Mbappe to Barcelona, saying I don't have much to say. What has become official is that Mbappe is leaving PSG, but our situation is different. We have to finish the season well. We have the Champions League tie. I can't answer you. He was asked about 2 other times about Mbappe. Again, he had to shut down the journalist saying, look, I'm not going to answer those questions anymore. So quite crazy that he's being asked that. Anyways, he was asked about some injury updates. He announced Sergio Roberto and Romeu, so they both still struggling with some discomfort and will be a step away from returning. If they won't be back against Celta Vigo, they will be available against Napoli. So they might make it for this game, but if not, worst case scenario, they'll be back against Napoli midweek, maybe Getafe if you really want to push it. The importance of the next 2 games is it's a very important moment for La Liga and for the season. At Barcelona, we are obliged to be successful. If we want to go for La Liga tomorrow, there has to be 3 points. We cannot fall any more behind. We don't depend on ourselves. We have to keep going. I still think we can finish the season well. Then asked on the potential departure of Frankie de Jong this summer, say that Frankie is a very important player and he's happy at the club. It's not the time to talk about this. There are 4 months left of the season and we're not talking about departures. We're thinking about competing in La Liga and the Champions League. Very, very good answer from Xavi. Again, I don't know why these rumors are even coming out middle of February, or not even at least in the March international break. Then he was asked will the Napoli game influence XI against Celta Vigo. He's saying that it won't. Tomorrow it's a very important game in La Liga. We're thinking about Celta Vigo, and then there will be time to think about Napoli afterwards. Then asked about, I think, the trillionth time about why he's left the club since he announced his resignation. I mean, fucking hell, I've had enough of these questions, but he was asked again. He said, "That's a decision I made for the good of the club. I will always put the club before myself. I say it normal, but it does not matter to me too much. There's still the Champions League and La Liga to compete for." I mean, Xavi gives the same answer as well. So I mean, it's getting boring at this point. From the first day, we generated enthusiasm, and I'm very happy with the players. It's been difficult to compete. The people love and respect me. The other day, they chanted for me. I think it's my time as a coach will be positive beyond the legacy. Whoever comes in, they have to support the team. Then asked on Marcos Alonso and the injury update on him, and also him, him coming back. And he's improving. He's a player who would have been playing a lot of minutes now with Balde being out, and we hope to have him back soon. I think he'll probably come back during the international break. Alonso, I think right after the international break, he should be available back for Barcelona. Then he asked on Frankie again. He said that Frankie had some good games and some bad games this season, but like the whole entire team and every other player, we lack consistency a lot this season and regularity. We all have to take that step forward. Then asked on Lewandowski's quotes. I tell you what, man, one thing about Lewandowski, he's been doing so many interviews. I mean, he talks like what, at least 6 or 7 times a month. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. But he was doing something in the this one was at least for Barcelona, and he was talking about the team and saying that look, these next 2 games are important, blah blah blah. We still have stuff to fight for. Xavi was asked on his comments, and look, I see that they hate them when they lose. They have extraordinary commitment and involvement. They care a lot when they lose, and when they compete goes far away. The team's reaction is one to be annoyed of. We want to win, and I have that feeling. If I don't, I wouldn't take drastic decisions. I think we are a team, and I want to keep thinking about winning. And what do you have to improve upon? Xavi said that we are trying to do the correct individual mistakes so that we can do the highest level and win. We have to improve between now and the end of the season. It won't be down to attitude and commitment. There have been many circumstances that have made us not compete as well as we did last year. Then he was asked will he stay to the end of the season or not, and he said that my perception is always positive, otherwise I wouldn't be here. The Granada game the other day was an accident. There are some very important games coming up, and I think that we will see the team's reaction. I have a lot of confidence of the president, Deco, and the players. That doesn't mean we will win the Champions League, but we are united to compete as far as we can. And I'd be very shocked. I don't think Xavi will be sacked, and the only way he will not be the manager by the end of the season is if he walks himself. That's for me is the big question. He's then asked if he is enjoying himself more now after announcing his decision. This was a good question. He said that on one hand, yes. On the other hand, I'm feeling sad because I think that now the work we have done is more appreciated. At Barcelona, we are very passionate. I'm calm and motivated to do things well, and I will give it all my work to bring Barcelona success. Very sad answer there from Xavi. And finally, he was asked on conceding goals, saying that I think we can see too many goals and mistakes in defense and in press. It's one of the key points where we don't compete like we did last year. We're looking for the solutions with Christian now playing in the midfield and the pivot, and also playing with 4 midfields as well. We have to find an answer to improve our defensive aspect to our game. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction to the match against Celta Vigo tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. I think it will be fairly simple to predict. We are, coming off another week break. We're coming into a big game where we need some sort of, consistency in the lineup. I think that Xavi will go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think he'll go with Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Koundé, Araujo, Inigo Martinez, and João Cancelo. Midfield 3 of Christensen, De Jong, and Gundogan. Front 3 of Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Pedri. We could see Raphinha start. That's really it. I mean, you're clutching at straws here to try and change this lineup. Will he bring him from in? Doubt it. Romeu is not fit, and plus it's shite. Anyways, I mean, Hector Fort maybe to drop Christensen in defense, maybe. But, let's be honest. I think only Raphinha starting ahead of Lamine Yamal could be a change. But Raphinha just coming off the back of an injury, only played 20 minutes. Don't think he's quite ready to start this game. Anything other than this lineup, genuinely, would be very, very shocked. And that's the lineup I think that Xavi Hernandez was left for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Xavi would go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach. And I have made a few tweaks from Xavi's lineup prediction. I have gone with this lineup on the screen right now. I've gone with ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 João Cancelo, Araujo, Inigo Martinez, and Hector Fort. Midfield 3 of Christensen, De Jong, and Gundogan. Front 3 of Raphinha, Victor Roque, and Pedri. So I think the only realistic change here is Hector Fort. I would drop Koundé. He's been shite and he needs to deserve to be dropped to the bench, and him to think about his performances recently. And I think he's been absolutely dreadful. I would like to see Hector Fort get some minutes recently. Of course, he played very well against Bilbao, the 7 Messi. We haven't really seen him much since. I think a little cameo performance against Alaves. Osasuna played the first half, wasn't that great, so I want to give him some sort of continuity. That's why I would, shift Cancelo to right back. You can have them either or, to be honest, but I think, to be honest, maybe I would even favor seeing Hector Fort at right back a bit more, since, that's his natural position. I want to see him play there. João Cancelo will pretty much play left back for the rest of the season with Alejandro Balde being out. I brought Raphinha in mainly just to rest Lamine Yamal. We are at a point now where we cannot risk him whatsoever, and I need him 100% fully fit, ready to go for the Napoli game. Same with Lewandowski as well. I think Lewandowski's been playing so many minutes that maybe just a little bit of a rest will give him some sort of a balance, some sort of a hunger to come back in the next game. I think Victor Roque, off the back of now 2 weeks, no games. He didn't play against Granada due to that red card suspension that he got against Alaves. This would be a perfect moment for him to start. He's on a high, 2 goals in his past 2 games, and that's why I'd give him the nod to start the game. And this is the lineup that I was selected for this match, but of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you'd rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? Now, since I've been doing match previews and, all this stuff on YouTube, I honestly don't think I've ever predicted Barcelona to lose a game. Just wins, couple of draws when it's been really difficult. I really want to predict the Barcelona loss here, but I do not have the balls to do it. I don't see Barcelona win this game. I think it'll either be a draw or a win for Celta Vigo, and this is the confidence for me as a culé as well. We're playing absolutely shockingly poorly, and also drawing to the most difficult stadium alongside the San Mamés. I think San Mamés and Balaídos are harder than the Wanda, Montilivi, Bernabeu, without a shadow of a doubt. This is how the stadium has affected me over the past 10 years. I'm going into this game not thinking Barcelona will pick up a result, only because of our momentum and current form, and the stadium aura and fucking Iago Aspas up top, who turns into bloody Fernando Torres, David Villa, Pedro Rodriguez, mold of a 3-player. Look, can Barcelona win this game? Absolutely. Should they be winning this game? Absolutely. Celta Vigo are one of the worst sides in the league. They're not playing well whatsoever. They're barely picking up results. Their team on paper isn't as strong as it was back in the day when they were beating us, week in, week out in their away stadium, when they actually had a decent side. Nolitos, Iago Aspas, Tapia in the midfield as well. They had some, Bryce Mendes, who now plays for Sociedad. They had a decent side back in the day. Now their side is pretty much average to below average. They have Larson and Mingueza and Iago Aspas, and that's pretty much it. But hopefully we can get a result, but I'm going to keep it real with you. I have no confidence whatsoever, so prove me wrong, boys. I'm predicting a Celta Vigo win or a draw in this match. But of course, in the comments down below, don't butler like me and leave me your score predictions. So that's a match preview for Celta Vigo versus Barcelona in La Liga. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi will select for this game? What would you select if you're the manager? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow share for the match by my match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead. Let's hope we can get a result. But if we don't, you can say bye-bye to a positive result in that Napoli game. I'll tell you what, they'll have some momentum as well if they go off and win off their game in Serie A. But we've got to get somewhat of a positive result. And please, just a little bit of a positive performance as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care and Forza Barca.